So my sister takes huge pride in being pure. Which is of course amazing for her. We weren't raised in a religious family, and her parents don't care. So this is all her beliefs as to why she wants to wait until she's married. She's very judgmental, so I've kept my love life to myself around her in a twisted turn of events. I ended up getting pregnant, and being pregnant caused my sister to dislike me even more, and shame me more for having intimacy, and telling me she hoped the father would leave me a single mom to teach me a lesson about sleeping with men before marriage. I cut her off during my pregnancy, but she begged and apologized for her way back after my son was born, and we became cordial again. My sister has a boyfriend she's been with since she was a junior in high school. She's now 21 and I'm 22. She always boasted to me about how they're waiting until they're married, and how their relationship is built on trust and true love rather than lust. A few weeks ago, my old co-worker who I worked with when I was pregnant and confided in about my drama with my sister, cutting her off at the time, called me and told me that my sister's boyfriend messaged her on Tinder. She sent me proof of his profile with a fake name with one blurry mirror picture. Clearly him, and in the message he said that his girlfriend knows that he has Tinder just to hook up. Then my co-worker told him she knew me, and he unmatched her. Luckily, she'd taken screenshots to add to my shock. She told me she found my sister's page through mine, and had already messaged her, and my sister blocked her immediately. I didn't say anything until her birthday recently. She had it in the basement of our parents' house. And it was a small get-together, and just family. And her boyfriend, she had no friends. Surprise, surprise, at the very end of the party, my son woke up, so I went to get him and brought him downstairs. My little cousins were playing with him, saying he's so cute, and my sister went, "Oh, he's so cute. He looks just like his daddy." Wait, which one of the 10 guys is his daddy? And she and her boyfriend started dying of laughter. Everyone went quiet. I was so embarrassed, I then said, "His name is Trevor, and I met him on Tinder. His girlfriend doesn't care that he sleeps with other girls." "I think you know him," and smirked to her and her boyfriend. I thought they'd be embarrassed and leave it without exposing themselves. But my sister started screaming, saying I'm a witch, and to get out of her party. I went up to my room with my son, and that was that my little cousins put 2 and 2 together and made a Tinder just to find the profile. And they showed my sister downstairs so I could hear shrieking and kicking. Everyone out, my parents, don't even care about her joke. They're saying I'm the idiot, not the idiot, low-key funny look. She disrespected you and didn't respect your kid. The child doesn't need to grow up near that, and she can have her own beliefs, but she does not have the right to try and force them on other people and judge them. Distance yourself from her. She's in denial and lashing out. So sister brags that she and her boyfriend are both virgins, but he actually sleeps with other women. It's high-key funny, in my opinion. Sister is so fixated on being celibate for whatever reason, like it makes her a rare breed or something. She got her head so high in the clouds that she's still with the guy so ready to cheat God that EQ was something she was not blessed with. I swear if I'd been there, I'd have been in the corner dying laughing at sis. She got all the way exposed, Lowell. She called you a slur in front of your whole family, including your toddler son. You just made a killer joke that also happened to be partially true. Your parents are wrong. Your sister made fun of a little boy to his face in front of his mother. Why don't they stick up for their grandchild at all? Does your sister always get to walk all over everyone? Everyone's the idiot here. This is a terrible environment for your child. Not a single person is mature enough to leave the other alone. You need to cut or limit contact with her. Your child doesn't need to hear jokes about you. Not knowing who his dad is or how many people there were possible, keep him away from her and cut the comments out yourself and move out from your parents' place. Think of the environment you want your child to be in. My husband and I have been married for 7 years and have 4 kids. The last 2 were born last September. My sister-in-law and brother-in-laws recently had their first kid at the start of the year. My sister-in-law and I are both stay-at-home moms. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law came to visit last month, and we got to meet their little one for the first time. They stayed for 3 nights. And while busy, it was an overall nice time while here. My sister-in-law and I got talking about being stay-at-home moms, and the topic of allowances came up. She asked how much I got, and I told her we didn't do allowances, and I had free access to all our money. We talked for a few minutes on that topic, and then moved on. Apparently due to this conversation, my sister-in-law liked our system better, and was badgering my brother-in-law about it. He in turn talked to my husband and convinced him that allowances are a better system. Once they left, my husband told me he wanted to try out giving me a monthly allowance. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law calculated their allowance by how much my sister-in-law would be making if she still worked minus childcare fees and the equal percentage she'd have to contribute to rent utilities. Etc. I, however, had our first 2 while still in school and have never had an official job concerning my degree. So that wasn't an option for us. During this conversation, it was one of the first times it seemed like my husband didn't value or understand my contribution to the household. He kept going on and on, so I relented. I calculated my monetary value as a stay-at-home mom by looking up the lower hourly rate of nannies in our area, times 4 and the hour of a normal 9 to 5. Even though I'm never off the clock, I then calculated the cost of house cleaners in our area and an estimated amount of time I spent cleaning. I chose 8 all in all. It came out to $12,560 rounded. I then overestimated it to $3,000 to account for any household costs. By this stage, I could tell my husband knew that his brother was wrong and felt bad about the insinuations made. But I figured since he was so adamant about doing this in the first place, why not try it out? I went out for a me afternoon and went shopping, spending $1,500 to preface. Most of the things I bought were needed, a few things for the kids, and I want in there as well. I got home, showed my husband, and he told me he got what I was saying and was sorry he cooked dinner that night and spent the rest of the night reassuring me that he valued and understood that I was just as important to the household as he was. However, my brother-in-law found out and called me petty, spiteful, and a handful of other words. And some friends said it was overkill and I shouldn't have gone further than the hypotheticals. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. $1,500 was much cheaper than a divorce. Just adding that studies show a stay-at-home. Mom works 96 hours a week, so that is well over 2 full-time jobs and would cost over $100,000 a year to replace her with paid labor. The idea of an adult having an allowance just leaves a very bad taste. Where did you get the 96 hours that a stay-at-home parent works? Most people work a 40-hour week, even if you make it a 1-hour commute each way for 5 days. An average full-time job only adds up to 50 hours that the other parent is out of the house and the stay-at-home mom is working. Once both partners are home, everything is back to 50-50. If the stay-at-home mom is working 96 hours to their partner's 50 hours, they must have a deadbeat partner. My brother-in-law's calculation method subtracts out childcare from her allowance. If there was anything to include, it would be how much her contribution saves them in childcare. I bet the brother-in-law also expects everything to be taken care of 24/7, so he can come home and do nothing. Brother-in-law should have minded his own business. Instead, he's just angry because now his wife knows he's a big cheapskate who doesn't value her. It sucks to be him. Hopefully, brother-in-law pulls his shot together before allowance becomes alimony. Even the term allowance for your adult partner seems off, and allowance is what you give a kid. So there seems to be a superiority complex with him. Opie brother-in-law is mad. You put ideas in his wife's head. Now she wants something better for herself. Also good on you for helping your husband see the light. A couple of nights ago, my in-laws came over for dinner. I had glasses on the table with ice and filled them with water. From a picture, I set the pitcher down to go grab something off the stove, and my mother-in-law resumed filling the glasses. My teen stepdaughter walked in and stopped her saying, "Don't use that, that's the dog's water." My mother-in-law was confused and said I had just been using it, and my stepdaughter replied, "No, that's gross. That's for the dogs to clarify the dog's food, and water are across the kitchen from the sink when I fill her bowl. I do use this pitcher. Then I leave it sitting on the nearest counter to the dish, because the pitcher holds more water than the bowl. I can just walk by top, the bowl." Off you get it. I told my mother-in-law that yes, I do pour water from this pitcher into the dog's dish, but the dog doesn't actually touch it or drink out of it directly. So I assume that was that however later at dinner when the water glasses needed to be topped off, my husband reached for the same pitcher and my mother-in-law told him not to use it. Apparently, she's offended that I filled dinner glasses with the dog's water. I definitely get it if it was something the dog was touching or interacting with. But in my mind, there's no difference between that water and pitcher versus any other water and pitcher I pour from, just to be sure though. Is there something here I'm missing? Do I owe my mother-in-law, who now thinks I'm trying to poison her with dog germs, an apology? You are the idiot. How dare you make your dog drink the same water your mother-in-law drinks? Don't disrespect your dog like that, lol. By that logic, all tap water is the dog's water. No contamination. No issue. Wait until she hears about gasp restaurants where one pitcher is shared between strangers. Then maybe talk with your daughter about the inappropriate wording of her comment. It could be she didn't understand, but your mother-in-law is more than old enough to realize that the dog's water is very different from water from a pitcher, also used to fill the dog bowl. She needs to engage her logical brain, but I'm sure she can get there. LOLOL, not the idiot at all. And on top of this entire story is hilarious. Except I'm sorry if it's legitimately creating an issue with your mother-in-law. I'm laughing out loud at the cute kindness of your stepdaughter thinking it was special dog water. And also, it sounds like exactly the kind of phrase we would use in my family. Plus, the idea of someone thinking you're trying to poison her with dog germs is just chef's kiss. Good luck, Opie. We're long distance together for 3 years. She recently accepted a job in my city and is supposed to move here in 2 months. I had completely blind trust in her. I recently visited her in her city and I saw she was getting many notifications from one of her new co-workers on work chat teams. I told her to be careful as she was playing with fire, and she dismissed me, saying it was nothing. She went running one afternoon and I followed my gut and read her team's conversation with this co-worker. They've known each other for barely more than a month, and they've been speaking almost every day for the past week about things not related to work. They joke around. He sends her gifts and videos, and she responds. They talk about music and food. She told him she tried a restaurant without mentioning. She went with me in no way. Am I mentioned in these teams' conversations? I know her friends' other co-workers and have met them numerous times. And when she just met them, she wasn't talking to them as much after we had a huge fight about it and didn't talk for 24 hours. He wrote to her again, sending a stupid GIF, and she still responded with another GIF. Even though she knew it would hurt me. My trust is completely shattered. She's been telling me recently that she feels like I'm not supporting her in her move. I'm feeling a lot of pressure because she's moving because of me. And I'm a bit distant emotionally. And I feel like as soon as I didn't give her what she needed, she went looking elsewhere. She thinks I'm the idiot because according to what she says, everyone at work knows she has a boyfriend including him and that she resigned and is moving to be with me. And she always talks about me. Too bad, there's no proof of this on Teams. And even if I knew, I don't care if he flirts with her. I care that she leaves the door open for him. She says he's just a social person and speaks with everyone in the office, and that she hadn't done anything in 3 years that made her deserve this lack of trust. She lied to me when I warned her about him, and she said it was nothing. She also keeps saying that she's leaving her friends and job to be with me, and she wouldn't do it if she wasn't committed to the relationship, as if this gives her permission to do whatever she wants. Am I the idiot for not trusting her and doubting her relationship when she has inappropriate non-work related conversations with someone she's known for barely a month? You are the idiot, you're snooping and insecure. So you're fine with her leaving a job, friends, and current life to be with you. But she can't even talk to a friend without you snooping through her phone and monitoring her conversations. You're a controlling monster, not to mention assuming you're in the US. Snooping on your girlfriend's phone and a work account is an unauthorized access to a company's computer data, so both she and her employer, past or current whatever, could charge you with crimes deservedly. So in my opinion, since you stoop so low out of your insecurity and need to control her environment, always funny to read a story where someone is so scared of losing their partners as someone else that they absolutely blow up an otherwise fine relationship for it and drive their partner away. Instead, she shares gifts and talks about music with her new co-worker. The horror, you are the idiot. You need to calm down a lot if you want to continue having a girlfriend. So this situation happened last night, and I need a verdict. Me 26 male and my wife Lainey. 26 have a 3.5-year-old together. We have an excellent support system and a solid babysitter. However, Lainey's sister Megan 21 is the only person we don't count on for babysitting. The first thing Megan said when she met her child was not to count on her for babysitting, because she didn't like kids. So for 3.5 years, we have never asked her to babysit. Well, about a month ago, the perfect crap storm happened. An IET breach happened at my company, and they needed my team to work on it immediately. Unfortunately, my wife was on her 12-hour shifter nurse and not answering her phone. My parents were out of town, and our babysitter was MIA. I exhausted all options before I called Megan. I begged her and told her the situation. She refused to come. I told her it would be 3 hours max and I'd pay her $200. She still refused, and then I told her to name her price. She said it sounds like a you problem and hung up. I ended up not being able to go in and was reprimanded. My wife was upset when she found out, but said, "We know Megan's stance." So we shouldn't be shocked. So last night my wife was at work and I got a call from Megan at midnight. She asked me to come and pick her up because she had lost her card and didn't have a ride that she tried my wife and her friends. But nobody was answering. I asked where she was. She was in a nice area, an outdoor mall with bars and restaurants. I asked her why she couldn't order an Uber. She said she didn't have any money. Shocking, I asked if she had any cash, and she said she had $5. I told her the bus runs near her house, so she should look into that. She got emotional and kept begging me to come to get her. I told her that it sounds like a you problem and went back to bed. So she got home and called my wife this morning. My wife wants me to apologize and is playing peacekeeper. I told her I was not apologizing for anything. This will teach Megan a lesson about family, and I'm not doing favors for her anymore. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It doesn't sound like she was in a dangerous situation. So it wasn't an emergency. She wouldn't help you with a one-time childcare emergency, not even when you made her a more than fair offer of payment. So yeah, getting stuck without a ride was her problem. Not yours. Megan has tasted karma. It's her lesson learned too. Agree you made sure she was in a safe area and gave her tips on how to get home safe, more than what she did for you when you really needed help. Why should you help her when she refuses to help you? That is her problem at that point. Don't be a doormat and don't apologize. Everyone's the idiot. Here she made her boundaries clear when it comes to your kid. Even in emergencies, you can't count on her. You made your boundaries clear. Even in emergencies, she can't count on you to bail her out funny. How things work, both ways you